Good afternoon to everyone present here. I, Ashish Patnaik, Additional Coordinator, High Court of Orissa Arbitration Center, on behalf of the High Court of Orissa, welcome Honorable Justice Sri Mruganka Shekhar Sahu, Judge High Court of Orissa, Honorable Justice R.K. Patnaik, Judge High Court of Orissa, and all the dignitaries present here and the participants to the grand finale of the state level law quiz 2023. This event, which started with competitions in the zonal level, has reached the final stage and the grand finale shall be held shortly. The entire quiz competition is being conducted with the help of the organization Q-Sala, and we are happy to have with us Mr. Raghav Chakrabarti, co-founder and CEO of Q-Sala, and his colleague, Madam M. Vaishnavi. Now, I hand over the proceedings to Mr. Raghav and Madam Vaishnavi for the grand finale of the Law Quiz Competition 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashish ji. Teams, get ready. The first structure of the quiz today, we will be having 5 rounds of quizzing. We start with what we call the potpourri round, a mixed bag of questions for the teams in the finals. We'll go clockwise on the first round and we go anti-clockwise in the second round. Round 3 is a round called List It. It's their way of selecting a particular amount of elements of a homogeneous set. I'll explain the round's rules to all of you as well. And the last 2 rounds will be the buzzer round, right? All the buzzer rounds will be the 4th and the 5th round, right? So let's quickly start off with the first question of our grand finale coming up on the screen, all of you. Potpourri, 6 questions, plus 10 if you get it right, and plus 10 for a pass as well, no negative marking. And those of you who here know the rules, pounce rules apply. If you are going for pounce, raise your hand in the first 10 seconds and indicate to me that you know the answer. And please ensure that you get my attention. And please keep your hands raised as I look through the other pounces as well. This is to ensure that if in a quiz, a question is asked and many times you're the 4th in the order, you know the answer but you still didn't get a chance to answer it. This is to ensure that there is fairness. They can raise their hand and indicate that they know the answer. They get a plus 10 if they get that right. They get a minus 10 on a pounce if they get it wrong. This is to ensure that there is that amount of fairness when we run this quiz. So let's begin with our first question. And this question will be to team 1. And we follow infinite bounds. So if the question is answered by a particular team, the next team gets the next question. 6 questions in all in this round. First question. All the very best teams, may the best of you win, and good show all of you. Here it comes. First question. In February of 2022, BJD Member of Parliament Prasanna Acharya raised an issue during the 0 hour in the Rajya Sabha. He said that the state's name has been changed from Orissa to Odisha in 2011, and names of all state government offices and establishments had been following the new name. However, one institution was not yet known under the new name as a central law was required for the same. The MP accordingly stated that the centre should enact a special law to change the name of this institution as well. Which institution are we talking about? The direct is to Team 1, Sambalpur University, PG Department of Law. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. I see 4 teams pouncing, all 4 teams on that side. I close pounce. I close pounce, I close pounce, but you had raised your hand just about then, so I'll take it. Quickly write your answers. Which institution are we talking about here? Okay? 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 Right. So we have 8 to almost team 4 who have pounced, and the direct is to PG Department of Law, Sambalpur University. What do you think is the answer? Okay, you need a mic. Here you go.
Sir, High Court of Odisha.
You say, if you were to see all the advertisements everywhere that we have put out, still says High Court of Orissa, and you've been wondering why it's not Odisha. There needs a central law. That's the right answer. We were looking for a very good cracker of an answer. Starting off with 10 good points is PG Department of Law, Sambalpur University, Team 1. Now, all the teams which pounced also got it right. So team 4, Lingaraj Law College, 10 points. PG Department of Law, Utkal University, team 1, 10 points. PG Department of Law, Utkal University, team 2, also 10 points. Team 7, 10 points, and team 8 also cracks it with 10 points. So everyone scoring in the first question. In fact, we kept wondering why the name had not changed, and that curiosity led to this question. And the next question coming up on the screen, all of you. And the next question is to team 2, Barga Law College. Here it comes. Right. So the gentleman that you see on the screen is Sri V.V. Chittale, who completed law at Nagpur University. And he started practicing at Katol, Maharashtra. He was recognized one of the few leading lawyers of the High Court at Nagpur. He is better known for having founded something in the year of 1922, which finds mention not only in courts, libraries in India, but even in foreign courts, including the Federal Court of Malaysia. What is his contribution to the legal world is the question. Sri V.V. Chittale, a prominent lawyer from the High Court of Nagpur at that time, right? So what is his contribution to the legal world? All the lawyers, law students know of him through his creation. So teams which are pouncing, I want you to raise your hands. I have 3 teams which are pouncing. I close pounce now, and I quickly check their answers to see if... Okay, so we had team 5 pounds. Okay, and team... Okay, so we have seen their answers, and the direct is to team 2, Barga Law College. Any guesses? There are some clues there, and if you were to think about it, you see it everywhere, but sometimes you wonder who started it all. My Lord. My Lord. He started the practice of calling my Lord, is what team 2 says. Not the quite right answer. Move on to team 3. Any guesses, team 3? No? Team 4, Lingaraj Law. Speak loudly into the mic.
We introduced promise on Gita.
Oh, the practice of promising on Gita when giving evidence and so on. Good thinking. Not quite. Moving on to trying to kind of look at library, and I think he was thinking on those lines. And you guys pounced, right? PG Department of Law, and you did not. Yeah, team 6.
The All India Records, the journal that has the cases.
So what do you call it?
AIR.
AIR, All India Reporter, is the right answer. Very good answer there. So this is the All India Reporter. So whenever you have a citation of a case law, AIR, SC 165, etc., AIR, All India Reporter, to ensure that there is reportage of cases. So the ratio decidencies were notified for lawyers to refer to in further cases, etc. So this is Mr. V.V. Chittale's contribution to the legal world. So that's All India Reporter is the right answer, and Team 6 cracks it with 10 points. And teams which pounced, if you can quickly raise your hand so that I don't miss out on you folks. Team 5 cracks it with 10 points. Team 7 and Team 8 also get 10 points. Look like all the teams are scoring in the first couple of rounds, which is good. The next question, since Team 6 answered it, will go to Team 7. Team 7, your question on the screen. It's a video question. In a November 2010 article for The Guardian, journalist Homa Khalili described how the antics of a certain event would be toned down. She compared this daily occurrence to this sketch from the famed comedy troupe Monty Python. Which display of peace and brotherhood did she compare this sketch to? Right? So something which is, a display of peace and brotherhood was kind of shown in this Monty Python's video. We'll play the video and then you can take a crack at the answer. So let me just quickly show you the video. Right. So it's for comic effect for the quiz, but still it was a reference to a particular event, right? The question that I want you to kind of answer is which display or which event are we talking about that is kind of shown through that video. So we have teams which are pouncing, raise your hand. I see only team 8 pouncing. So I close pounce and I quickly check their answers. Okay? I've seen their answers. And the direct question was to NLU Odisha, team 1, which is on team 7. Over to you, NLU Odisha, team 7. If you, can you use the mic fully and speak? Okay.
It's the ceremony that takes place daily at the Wagah border, and the step is known as the duck step. So now they have made certain changes to how the ceremony proceeds.
So he's saying this is the duck step, which is part of the beating the retreat ceremony at the Wagah border. I've always been fascinated why they stretch their legs so much. That's the right answer. Very good. So that's the right answer. This is the Wagah border ceremony that happens, and well cracked. And that was the Monty Python sketch, just kind of, showing a comic way of doing that. And team 8 cracks it with 10 points as well. That's National Law University, Odisha, cracking that. This is the Wagah border ceremony. And if you can, there was clues in the question. Peace and brotherhood were thrown in there to kind of make you think in that line. So that's the Wagah border ceremony question. Moving on to the next question. And since team 7 answered it, the next question goes to team 8. Here it is. She, Hansa Mehta, was one of the 15 women who was, out of the 15 women members of the Constituent Assembly, and she was hailing from the Bombay province. She was instrumental in abolition of child marriage. She regularly, worked as an activist in abolition of child marriage. But she's most famous for, apart from a contribution to the Constituent Assembly, she played a significant role in making critical changes to the language of Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as it stood then, which said, all men are born free and equal. What change that she proposed is today something that's, still part of our Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hands. And I see 5 teams pouncing. I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. What is the full change? Right? I want you to, please write down the full change that, because you're pouncing the answers, I want the answers to be right. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand as well. Okay, got it. And we have, okay. Got it. Okay, so I've seen their answers. And the direct was to team 8.
Is it all humans are born free and equal?
So when she went to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights meetings, when they were discussing this particular article, when she saw that it was drafted as all men are born free and equal, she saw that to be non-inclusive, and she changed all men to say all human beings are born free and equal. That's the right answer. Looks like you just have to get the, so that's the right answer. Very good crack there. Good 10 points to team 8. And that's the contribution of Sri Hansa Mehta for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Amongst other, she was very critical of the language that was being used. 10 points. Teams which pounced, if you can quickly raise your hands. Right? Quickly raise your hands. I know what that answer meant, so I'll give it to you. 10 points to PG Department of Law, Sambalpur University. PG Department of Law, Baharampur University cracks it with 10 points. Team 3, Team 5 also gets 10 points. Team 6 and Team 7 also get 10 points. Right? So we'll just, because scoring a lot of 10s, so I hope the scoring is proper. Next question coming up on the screen, all of you, now. Right, so this gentleman, Mr. Reginald William Pierce, was a textile company employee who became eligible to become part of a certain group, as he was one of the income tax payers, and he was a regular, very sincere income tax payer. So he shot to fame in the year 1969 for differing with 8 others of the same group. What was the claim to fame of Mr. Reginald William Pierce? Think about it. There's a reason why, this particular piece of information should appear in a law quiz. Okay, so that is the question, and the direct was to, in fact, Team 1. Team 1, it was your direct because the last answer was provided by Team 8. Team 1, do you have an answer?
Sir, right to occupation. He said that the textile industries, the right to occupation throughout the whole of the India.
So he went about creating representations to build for right to occupation is what Team 1 says. Moving on to Barga Law College, Team 2. Since it's a past question, I think we need to move faster. Yes? You choose to pass. Moving on to Team 3.
Exemption of income tax to Khadi. To Khadi, exemption of income tax.
So exemption of income tax for Khadi is what they answer. Good thinking. Moving on to Team 4.
Maybe, sir, a new range for the taxation? A new bracket?
New bracket for taxation. Everyone is thinking in taxation. I think that was okay. Not quite. Moving on to Team 5. I think the key would there be the year 1969. He was part of a certain group. Team 5.
I'm a founder of the...
No, but you still had an answer. Why don't have the fear of answering a question. It's okay. Go ahead. You had an answer, right?
Some income tax benefits to the Navratna groups.
So you're an employee of Navratna companies and the income tax benefits there. Okay, Team 6. For differing with 8 others. Team 6, any guesses? Okay, do you have a guess?
Organizing the workforce, of the skilled workforce of the...
Organizing the skilled workforce. Team 7, they're discussing vociferously. Yes, over to you folks. Oh, okay, here you go. If that's working, if you can just share your mics.
He opposed the bank nationalization policy.
He opposed the bank nationalization policy. Moving on to NLU Odisha, Team 8. Okay. So looks like first question stumping all our finalists. Anyone in the audience? There is a reason why this question I said made a reference here in the law quiz, because he differed with 8 others. And it was, in a way, a landmark case. Any guesses? Yes? If you can have a mic there very quickly. Okay, so you can probably shout it out. Founder of? Oh, good guess, not quite. Is the founder of the Berbari Union, the Berbari Bath case. Good thinking, not quite. Anyone in the audience? He differed from the eight of it, and it's amongst probably the last of such a case that ever happened in India. Right? And sir, there you are. This is the last, or the amongst the last jury cases ever to be done in India. This is the K.M. Nanavati case, and the sole juror who differed in that case was Mr. Reginald William Pierce. And all of you went towards the income tax route. People who were chosen to the jury were people who were very, law-abiding citizens. Since he was a law-abiding citizen, he was part of the jury, and he was the sole dissenting voice and said that Nanavati should be convicted in that case. And that is the answer we were looking for. A tough one, but this is the grand finale. So a question of this nature. Moving on to, since the question no one answered, we come back to you, PG Department of Law, Team 1. Your question on the screen. The earliest patent law was passed about 600 BC in Sybaris in Italy, whose people were notorious for their opulent luxury. The law was framed to encourage inventiveness among members of a certain profession, whereby the inventor-creator was granted the exclusive right to manufacture it for a 12-month period after its first release or make. Which profession or category of professionals are we talking about for whom the first nature of patent was provided for in over 600 BC in Sybaris in Italy is the question. Think about it. So the person got this patent and the exclusive right to create it was given for 12-month period. What specific profession were these so-called or very nature of patent during that time was provided in Sybaris? That's the question for today's grand finale. Anyone pouncing? Looks like no one wants to take a pounce on this. Moving on to Team 1, PG Department of Law. Any guesses on that?
Sir, handmade earthen potteries.
Good thinking. They say handmade earthen potteries. Moving on.
Hello?
Architecture.
Architects. So they used to create a particular design and they would have exclusive right on the design for over 12 months. Good thinking. Moving on to Team 3. Since it's a past question, think of it, any profession, right? You can probably say any profession. But specifically during that time, a certain profession, people played a very important role. In fact, you can say explorers went about in the world for particular reasons as well.
It's invention of granary, storage of granary.
Storage of granaries. Moving on to Team 4.
Sir, maps.
Maps, creation of maps, and it had exclusive right to use that map for 12 months. Moving on to Team 5. Any guesses? It's really getting all of them to think and think of different professions.
Seals.
Seals, creation of particular seals that they can use for 12 months. Team 6.
Blacksmith.
Blacksmiths, so that they can create a certain kind of model and reuse it for 12 months. Team 7, National Law University, Odisha.
They used to manufacture dyes.
Dyes, so that clothing and coloring of clothes, all very good quality answers in the grand finale. Team 8.
Wine brewers.
Wine brewers, again good thinking, they had exclusive right, but think of it this way, this is like the modern day GI tax, so to say, right? And the direct was to Team 1, right? Anyone in the audience, think of a profession, you would get exactly 12 months time if you created it to solely use it, sell it, and make money out of it, right? And in olden days, if you think about it, one of the reasons why many explorers wanted to come to India was for spices, and therefore something became very important for, essentially a community which was into opulent luxury, not indigo specifically or indigo traders.
Perfume.
Not perfume, good thinking, all good answers. Right? Recipe is the right answer. Very good, crack. These were, in fact, chefs who created a particular dish, and they had a 12-month exclusive right to create it. Right? And that was like the initial, origins of the patent law. A cracker of an answer from the Justice. Thank you, sir. Very nice answer. This is recipes or from chefs who created it, and they had an exclusive right for 12 months. And interestingly, right, people came to India looking after black gold, which is pepper, and people believed that pepper was used as a preservative for meat in those days. And since there were no refrigeration, that was a very important need for people in Europe. So that's the answer we were looking for. Good crack from sir, and that's the we end the first round with that. Now we go anti-clockwise, and the question goes to NLU Odisha Team 8. We start with you folks. Same rules, just that we go anti-clockwise so that it's fair for the teams. Question. Back in 1544, when the Tribunal di Relaco was created in a particular region, it was the highest court in the territory with jurisdiction over civil and criminal matters. The judges of the court were known as desembargador. The Tribunal di Relaco had territorial jurisdiction over not just this region, but also other colonies like Macau, Timor, and for a brief period, Mozambique as well. In which place in India was this court set up? And many people argue this arguably could be the first high court in Asia, right? So which place are we talking about? If you look closely, there are certain clues that should lead you to the answer, right? Anyone going for a pounce? Anyone going for a pounce? I see one team braving it and taking a pounce. I close pounce. Okay. When I just about to say close pounce, I saw both of your hands go up. So 3 teams pouncing. I'll quickly check their answers. I saw their answers, and it was NLU Odisha. So quickly, let's see your answer as well. Okay, I've seen their answers. NLU Odisha on Team 8. Your direct was the question. Over to you. Arguably the oldest high court in Asia. Where was it?
Is it High Court of Calicut?
High Court of Calicut. Good thinking. Right? Moving on to Team 7 pounds. Team 6. What do you think is your answer? Team 6. It's a past question. I just need to keep time.
High Court of Bombay.
Okay, need a very specific place is my question. So you're saying Bombay?
Salisat.
Okay, Bombay is what I heard. I'll take that and I move on to Utkal University on Team 5, PG Department of Law. You say Fort William. Moving on to Lingaraj Law College.
Allahabad.
Allahabad. Moving on to Team 3.
Is Calcutta.
Calcutta. Moving on to Barga Law College, who went for a pounds, and PG Department of Law. And the direct was to Team 8 anyway. Anyone in the audience? Yes, yes. Goa is the right answer. Very good. This is Goa. And if you could see it, it's 1544, obviously Portuguese. And where were they mostly set up was in Goa. And this is the Tribunal di Relaco. This is Goa. And teams which bounced, Team 2 cracked it with 10 points. Team 1, unfortunately, a negative -10. And Team 7 also got it right with a good 10 points. This is Goa. And, Tribunal de Relaco also looks very Portuguese, for if you could take that guess. Right? So this is Goa under the Portuguese rule. Now, to the next question. And the next question goes back to Team 8, because none of them answered in the direct. But after 2 consecutive questions, I move on to the next. Yeah? Next question. Here it comes. What you see to the right are 2 tablets of Moses on which he inscribed the 10 commandments he received from the burning bush on Mount Sinai. These tablets have a special significance to lawyers. Through what specific way? Right? So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. I close pounce. I see 2 teams pouncing, so I quickly go and check your answers. I've seen their answers, and the direct was to Team 8. What's your answer, Team 8?
So during the Sanad ceremony, all these 10 commandments are read out, and the lawyers take oath on this.
Okay. The lawyers take oath on this. Moving on to Team 6. I think, but it's a good thing for us to take oath on it also, because it has the 10 commandments to follow. But Team 6, any guesses? I need an answer. Move on to Team 5. Team 5, any answers? Discussing, any answers? Oh, you pounced. Sorry, got this one wrong. Team 4, any guesses? Okay, moving on to Team 3.
It's professional ethics and code of conduct for the lawyers in bench.
Okay, professional ethics and codes of conduct. Good thinking, not quite that I'm looking for here. Barga Law College. Use the mic.
Yeah, it is to take oath over the Bible.
Okay, take oath on the Bible, not quite. Team 1.
Sir, the rules they have to follow while conducting their profession, like ethics.
I would have given scores to the other teams which also were in that regard, and that was direct to Team 8. Anyone in the audience? Yes? Precedence. So you're saying this precedence is what you say? Not quite. Good thinking. Anyone in the audience? Yes, right at the back. So it's symbolic to lawyers in a certain way. And there is, of course, different theories around it, but one credible source said that it's representative of this.
Protecting the right of their clients.
To?
Protecting the rights of their clients and to promote the causes of justice.
To write the rights of the clients, etc., of the petitioners, so on. Not quite. Anyone in the audience? As lawyers, all of us do something in the way we look. So this lady here who wants to give an answer.
Is it the band?
So the lawyer bands, and the 2 bands are supposed to represent the 2 tablets of Moses. That's the right answer. That's the right answer we were looking for. So the 2 bands are supposedly, the symbolism is that it represents the 2 tablets of Moses. But so this is something that we kind of came across and we thought was very interesting. And 2 teams which pounced got that right. So well done. Team 5 and Team 7 cracked it with good 10 points. Very well done. Huge round of applause. Well done. They cracked it. So lawyer bands are supposed to represent the 2 tablets of Moses. Right? With that, the next question coming up on the screen. Right? So here is a video from the Samvidhan series, which is a wonderful set of 10 mini-series on the making of the Constitution of India by Shyam Benegal. So here is a clip from that. You need to tell us what famously did Gandhiji provide, I mean, you'll see the video, say to Babu Jagjeevan Ram when he came up and said that, Bapu, you're not part of the Constituent Assembly, but what is your advice? Right? So let's see the video. Okay, let's click on the video.
हिंदुस्तान को एक नया रूप देने के लिए, एक नए संविधान को आकार देने के लिए सारे महत्वपूर्ण लोग कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली में मौजूद थे। बस दो लोग वहां नहीं थे, और शायद दो सबसे अहम लोग, कायदे आजम मोहम्मद अली जिन्ना और महात्मा गांधी। संविधान सभा के बहुत से सदस्य गांधी जी से मार्गदर्शन और आशीर्वाद लेने उनके पास पहुंचे।
आइए आइए जगजीवन बाबू, मुझे पता है हम चाहे दुनिया का सबसे सुंदर संविधान क्यों न बना लें, पर वो भी बेकार साबित होगा अगर उसे अमल में लाने वाले लोग न हुए।
बापू, मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारे यहाँ ऐसे अच्छे आदमियों और औरतों की कोई कमी नहीं है जो हमारे संविधान को कारगर करके दिखाएंगे। इसीलिए हम सब आपका आशीर्वाद लेने आए।
बापू के आशीर्वाद हमेशा तुम्हारे।
Got it. So this was what was famously provided by Gandhiji in this meeting. So let me start with the question was direct to team 7 because we got 2 consecutive to team 8. So let me give a clue to all of you. In fact, all of us students, we've seen this particular thing that Gandhiji says to Babu Jagjeevan Ram ji in a certain way. When we were in school, we would have probably all seen it. So that's a clue. That's a clue for all of you. Okay? I don't see any team pouncing, so I will. You want to pounce? Okay, he chooses not to pounce now. Team 7, over to you.
Gandhi said that true India is found in its villages. That was the phrase he gave.
True India
is found in its villages. Like if you want to find India, then you have to look in its villages.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
It was an attempt to suggest local self-governments and decentralization.
Okay, decentralization, and that is what he recommended. Team 6.
His stick. His stick.
Oh, he donated that stick and said, may this be kept at the Constituent Assembly and be a reminder for you of Bapu's ideals. Moving on to Team 5. Watch. He gave his watch. Team 4.
I think no government is the ultimate aim. I think there should not be a government.
Okay, no government, stateless. That's one. Okay, moving on to Team 3. Any guesses? Please use the mic.
Advocating local self-government.
I would have given it to Team 7. Moving on to Team 2. Use the mic.
Bapu has said that the law should be available for all the poor and the Dalits who are the end entity of this nation.
Right? Okay, so you're saying that the law should be, it should reach the corners of our country to all the people from all kinds of backgrounds, etc. Okay, moving on to team 1. Okay.
So there should be representation from every section, like all the Dalits and Harijans.
It should be a representative, an inclusive, constitution. Moving on to team 8.
He gave the idea of a pledge of allegiance, like the Indian pledge.
The Indian pledge.
Yeah.
All Indians are my brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
oh, good thinking. And I think he went through the school and probably trying to work out on that. And that was a direct to team 7. Anyone in the audience? Yes?
I believe it's the framing of constitution.
He went to seeking advice from Gandhiji, right? For framing, before going to framing the constitution. Anyone in the audience? If you all remember your NCERT textbooks, at least when we were in school, my 11th and 12th, I had the NCERT textbook which had a specific, this one from Gandhiji. If you all remember, it used to have a preamble and then it used to have this particular note from Gandhiji. The Gandhiji's talisman is the answer we were looking for, right? So this is Gandhiji's talisman, and I'll in fact try to give points. I'll give 5 points to you guys, because the nature of the talisman is that whenever you're in doubt, please ensure that it, look at the law that you're making from the eyes of the downtrodden, the poor of the country. So that was largely what you were referring to. So I'm using my discretion here and I'm awarding 5 points to them, right? And here is the video.
बापू के आशीर्वाद हमेशा तुम्हारे साथ है, पर आज मैं तुम्हें एक तावीज, एक टोटका दूंगा, जो शायद तुम्हें सही संविधान बनाने में मदद करे।
आप और तावीज? बापू, मुझे लगता था आप तंत्र मंत्र यंत्र में विश्वास नहीं रखते।
पर इस मंत्र पे पक्का विश्वास है मेरा। जब कभी अपने आप को शंका में घिरा पाओ तो इस परीक्षा को अपनाना। सबसे दीनहीन, गरीब, कमजोर इंसान जिसे तुमने देखा हो, उसका चेहरा याद करना और स्वयं से पूछना, जो मैं करने जा रहा हूं, क्या इससे उसका भला होगा? इस कदम से क्या उसे कुछ मिलेगा या नहीं? इससे क्या वो अपने भाग्य और जीवन को सुधार पाएगा या नहीं? या यूं कहो, ऐसे करोड़ों को स्वराज मिलेगा या नहीं, जो तन और मन की भूख से तड़प रहे हैं, जिनके पेट भी खाली है और हृदय भी। फिर देखना, तुम्हारी सारी शंकाएं छूमंतर हो जाएंगी।
Right, and that is the Gandhiji's talisman. So good answer there from the audience. So moving on to the next question of the quiz coming up on the screen, and team 7, the direct is for you folks. Right. The Sambalpur rebellion was a tribal rebellion led by Surendra Sai, who was a direct descendant of Madhukar Sai, former king of Sambalpur. The rebellion resulted after King Narayan Singh died in 1849, and Surendra Sai's legal claim to the throne was denied by the British, despite being the next in line to the throne, under which controversial colonial policy implemented repeatedly by the pictured Governor General triggered the rebellion. Right? So this is one amongst the rebellions during the 1850s. Pouncing. If you are you pouncing, please raise your hand. Right? I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. Okay, I'll come back to you. Okay? teams which are pouncing. Okay, so it's your direct. Okay, but you didn't pounce, right? So it's okay. So seen the answers, and the direct was to team 7.
The doctrine of lapse.
Right? So team 7 say doctrine of lapse, and that's the right answer. That's the right answer. Can we give it up to them? Doctrine of lapse. So the clue there was that, the fact that he was refused, lineage of legal claim to the throne because he was not his direct son, right? And that was the issue there. And the Sambalpur rebellion started off, and there were 3 phases of it as well. So that's the answer. Teams which pounced, if you can quickly raise your hands. So team 8 cracked it with 10 points. Team 6 got it right with 10 points. Team 5 cracked it with 10 points. Team 3 and Team 2 also cracked it. Team 2 gave an explanation of it, but I will give it to you because that's what it is. So this is doctrine of lapse, which triggered the Sambalpur rebellion in Odisha. Moving on to the next question, 5th question coming up on the screen, all of you. Here it is. What was the technological significance or uniqueness of a recent judgment by Justice Anup Chitkara? Justice Anup Chitkara's led bench, the Punjab and Haryana High Court judgment of 2023, regarding a bail application for an accused charged with rioting, criminal intimidation, murder, and criminal conspiracy. I see 3 teams pouncing. I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. 3 teams pouncing. Who else? Okay. Got it. I saw your answers, and the question is directed to team 6. Team 6, any guesses? I'll move quickly now on. Team 6, we've given enough time. Okay, Team 6, I need an answer, or else I'll pass. I'll move to, do I have an answer? Move to Team 5, you pounce. Team 4?
GPS.
GPS, they use GPS to track him and then kind of give a judgment. Not quite. Moving on to Team 3.
It's video conferencing.
Say video conferencing. Moving on to Team 2. You choose to pass. And Team 1 at pounds. Team 8.
Was it a AI generated judgment?
Was it an AI generated judgment? What is the most famous AI generative application? And that's the right answer. That's the right answer. So it was validated by a ChatGPT 3. Of course, the judgment was validated by an AI generative judgment. Can we give a good round of applause for utilizing new technology to kind of validate information and so on? And that was Justice Anup Chitkara. And teams which pounced, if you can quickly raise your hands. Team 7, Team 5, and Team 1 got 10 points as well. So all teams scoring in our second round of quizzing today. And this is first instance in India where ChatGPT was used to decide on a bail application. Give it to you on generative AI. And the last of the questions of the round coming up, and that's to Team 7, since Team 8 got that right. Here it is, and I think we'll end this round with this question. Emily Wilding Davison died at the 1913 Epsom Derby, being hit by King George V's horse Anma after she had walked into the track during the race. Many believe it was an act of protest. This was dramatized in a scene from 2015 movie. Along with her, there were many, including Princess Sophia Alexandra Duleep Singh's daughter of Maharaja Duleep Singh, who were fighting for a similar cause. Look at the clip and tell us the cause she was fighting for. here is the video. Okay, can we have the video being played, please? Right. So, I have to say, a very moving scene there. And tell us, what was Emily Wilding Davison trying to bring attention to by, by letting herself go and sacrifice her life when the horse of George V was coming there? Right? You need to tell me what particular right and cause was she fighting for. Right? Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. Okay, I have one team pouncing. I close pounce and I quickly check their answers. Okay, so I've seen their answer, and the direct was to team 7. Over to you guys.
Emily Davison was a suffragette activist, so she was campaigning for the women's right to vote, suffrage.
So you're saying she was fighting for the right to vote for women, the suffragette movement, and she was a suffragist. That's the right answer. Please give it up. Many people have fought for the rights that we take for granted today, and this was such a right for which Emily Wilding Davison, sacrificed her life to. This is the suffragette movement, and Team 5 cracked it also on the pounds. So very good answer there. So this is Emily Davison. And the black and white clipping.
100 years ago, Britain's greatest national event was stopped in its tracks by a very public, very shocking, fatal act of protest. At the height of the 1913 Epsom Derby, in front of thousands of spectators, a lone figure walked into the path of the galloping horses. What happened next was captured on film in horrific detail.
Right, so this is the suffragette movement, and there's a nice movie on it as well. So that's the answer we were looking for, and good 10 points to Team 7 and Team 5 who cracked that. And with that, we've come to the end of the first 2 rounds of quizzing. At least the heavy rounds of quizzing have just kind of finished, and we have next 30 minutes or so of quizzing left. And we'll quickly have audience questions before we look at the scores. And the first of the audience question is, what you see in the image here is Ms. Dakshayani Velayudin, who in her memoirs references a unique protest she witnessed in Kerala. Ms. Dakshayani Velayudin was one among the 15 Constituent Assembly members. She and her brother K.P. Valan were key members of the Pulaya Mahajana Sabha, which advocated for Dalit rights across Kerala. The king had ordered certain restrictions on Dalits holding assembly meetings. The Sabha used a loophole and the state's topography to organize a large meeting, and yet claimed they did not disobey the rule or the order of the king. How exactly did they skirt the restriction and conduct their meeting? Think of the topography of Kerala, and you should get an answer. And on different boats. That's the right answer. Yes, The Sea Has No Caste was the book that she wrote, and that's the right answer from Justice Mulli sir. Yes, this is the right answer. They used boats to hold the meetings on the backwaters. The rule had said nowhere on the land will you hold a meeting of this nature, right? And she used that very creatively and held that protest. Right? And a recommendation from all of you is the book, the memoir from Dakshayani Velayudin. The next question, and this I think most of you should kind of crack it. Nandalal Bose, the famous modern artist of India, and his students from the Vishwa Bharati, they went ahead on a project and created illustrations from Indian history, having different civilizations of the subcontinent, ranging from prehistoric Mohenjo-daro to the Indus Valley, to the present. Where has it been immortalized? Right? I'm going to show you some images for you to take a clue. See, from Shivaji to the Mughal period, from the Mahabharata, from Indian mythology, right? The Mohenjo-daro seal that you see there, the bull, Right? Where have you seen all of this? All of these paintings were made, right? Yes, there?
Yeah, so these are the illustrations you find in the actual version of the Constitution, the written version of the Constitution.
The actual original written versions of the constitutions have these wonderfully made illustrations from Mr. Nandalal Bose and his students from Vishwa Bharati, and here you can see it. And in fact, there is a replica of such a constitution in the Museum of Justice here at Kathak, and I urge all of you to go see it there as well, right? And with that, we've come to the end of the first 2 rounds, and I think we're ready with our scores. And let's look at, and these are the illustrations, the fundamental rights, directive principles, and here are some, and over to scores. After first 2 rounds of quizzing, we have Sambalpur University, team 1 at 20 points. Barga Law College at 25 points. PG Department of Law, team 3 at 20 points. Lingraj Law College at 10 points. Leading at this stage looks like team 5, PG Department of Law, Utkal. 70 points. Thanks for pointing it. They are keeping track of how they're pairing up on the finals. PG Department of Law, Utkal University, team 2 at 40 points. Team 6, NLU Odisha leading at this stage with 90 points. 10 points away from a century here. And NLU Odisha, team 2 at 60 points. Right? With that, we've come to the end of the first 2 rounds. Now we pick pace with listeds that you will have. So let's move on to the listed round. Just give us a second as we shift computers to provide the listed round. So giving you all an idea of what the listed round is, we're going to show you a grid with 9 elements. There are 6 elements that follow a certain unique theme, or they are come to a homogeneous set. You need to identify the 6 elements, and as you identify the 6 elements, you get 5 points for each right answer, right? But the important thing here is that if you get even 1 element wrong, all the points that you have taken come to 0. So please play it safe. Since these teams have, fairly gotten field practice in the regional round, I think they know the rules of the listed round. So I'll move directly into the listed round. And for the sake of ensuring that I don't obstruct the view of the screens here, so I'll move to the side. And the listed round sample question to the audience, just for the purpose of you all being able to look at it. Fundamental duties as per Article 51A of the Indian Constitution. And it'll be 60 seconds for all of you to work out. Any guesses? You can shout it out and we'll to render national service when called upon.
Safeguard public property.
To safeguard public property. To protect the natural environment. Respect the national anthem. To uphold and protect the sovereignty of India. And the last one. Okay. To renounce, I hear, to renounce derogatory practices against women. So the point is, at any of these 6 stages, if you get 1 wrong, then you lose all points. So you can stop the game at any time, right? So let's begin, and we'll start with team 1. And team 1, ready? With your listed coming up on the screen. And please use the mic and say go, as the rules that you know and briefed already. Team 1, your listed coming up on the screen now. Judges of the Supreme Court of India from Odisha. So we are starting the timer. Okay.
Go Justice Deepak Mishra.
Justice Deepak Mishra, former Chief Justice of India. Yes.
Go Justice Arijit Pasayat.
Justice Arijit Pasayat.
Go for Justice Devapriya Mahapatra.
Justice Devapriya Mahapatra.
Go for Justice Gopal Ballabh Patnaik.
Gopal Ballav Patnaik.
Go for Justice Radha Charan Patnaik.
Radha Charan Patnaik.
Go for Justice Bachu Jagannath Das.
Justice Bachu. All 6 right. Good 30 points. Very good. Very good. Right? And you get yourselves 30 points. Very well done, Team 1. Moving on to Team 2. I'm telling you, they made it seem very easy. But under pressure, getting that right is something very well done. Moving to Team 2. Barga Law College, you're ready with your set coming up on the screen. Ramsar sites in Odisha under the Convention on Wetlands, right? Amongst about 74 sites in India, 6 sites are in Odisha for protection of these wetlands under the Convention of Wetlands. Yes, Barga Law College.
Vitarkanika mangroves. Go for Vitarkanika.
Vitarkanika mangroves.
Hirakud Reservoir.
Hirakud Reservoir. 10 points there. Thinking.
Ansupa Lake.
You have Ansupa Lake. 15 in your kitty. Okay, so with that, do you want to continue? We have still 8 more seconds. Okay, time's up. Time's up. Good 15 points to Barga Law College. Do you want to take a crack at the others for no? Chilka Lake. Can we get Chilka Lake? That would have given you another 5. So we have Sankosia Gorge. Yes. Tampara Lake is. That would have given you all the 6 sites at Ramsar. Can we give a good round of applause? Good 15 points to Barga Law College. Well done. Team 3, your set coming up on the screen. Now, organizations that have been conferred the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's start the timer. Yes?
ILO.
ILO.
International.
Amnesty International.
World Food Program.
World Food Program. They won the prize quite recently.
European Union.
European Union. That's right as well. You've got 20 points and another 35 seconds to go. Okay, looks like you're thinking, deliberating, and that's part of the collaborative process that quiz can bring together. Last 3 seconds to go. Okay, they want to close down. Any guesses now for no points?
Oxfam.
Oxfam International, not at. Grameen Bank is the right answer. Mohammad Yusuf from Grameen Bank won the Nobel Peace Prize. We have 1 more left.
Greenpeace.
They have not won as well. I think the Memorial, got it. That's another organization. So that's this one. So you guys got 20, right? 20 points for Team 3. Well done. So Nobel Peace Prize conferred organizations. Team 4, ready? With your set. And here it comes. Books by Dr. Amartya Sen. Let's start the timer. The Argumentative Indian is right. So their answer is Why Nations Fail is a wrong answer. So they miss out, and 0 on that. But no harm. You want to guess the other books? So you say poor economics. Idea of poor economics is also not from Dr. Amartya Sen. The idea of justice is the development as freedom. Please use the mic.
Identity and violence.
That's right as well.
Mismeasuring our lives.
Mesmerizing our lives.
The road to selfdom.
Not quite, right? The remaining one was inequality re-examined, and those were the books of Amartya Sen, right? Good, well done, but looks like they got a negative on that. Team 5, your grade coming up on the screen. Are you all ready, PG Department of Law? Here it is. Constituent Assembly members from Odisha, right? So we are starting the timer. Okay, looks like 40 to 40 seconds left. You can give away the answers as you are trying to, because last minute you don't want to rush it.
Bishwanath.
That's right.
Malati Chaudhary.
Malati Chaudhary is right.
Sarangdar Das. Sarangdar Das.
That's right. $15 points. Last 7 seconds to go.
Nandakishore Das.
That's right as well. And nick of time, you make yourself 4 right answers there. And quickly want to take a crack at the other 2. Lal Mohan Patti, that would have been right as well. And now they're eating. And the next one they want to go with Kamala Devi Chattopadhyaya, who was not part of the Constituent Assembly.
N. Madhav Rao.
N. Mahavatar Rao was the right answer. Yes, that's what we were looking for. But you get yourself 20 points. So Team 5, 20 points. And the people who were from the Constituent Assembly members from Odisha, I think a good round of applause for them. Team 6, your set coming up on the screen. Here it is. First batch of the 12 Rajya Sabha nominated members. In fact, we found this list to be quite fascinating. Team 6, 47 seconds up. Okay, 39. You're halfway through.
Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan.
Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, unfortunately, is a negative there. Don't lose heart. Can you give out the other guesses? You want to give it a shot at the other guesses? These are the nominated members that we were looking at. Yeah.
Alladi Krishnaswamy.
Alladi Krishnaswamy would have fetched you 5 points.
Dr. Zakir Hussain.
Dr. Zakir Hussain, another 5 points.
C.V. Raman.
C.V. Raman, not quite.
Kaka Sahib Kelkar.
Kaka Sahib Kalekar, yes.
C. Rajagopalachari.
C. Rajagopalachari, no. And those were his guesses. So the remaining were Prithviraj Kapoor, interestingly, was amongst the first nominated members. Mr. Rukmini Devi Arundale and N.R. Malkani were the 12 Rajya Sabha members who were nominated by the president, right? Moving to Team 7, unfortunately, they get a 0 as well. Team 6. Team 7, your grid on the screen. Now, women judges of the Supreme Court of India. Let's start the timer.
Hema Kohli,
Justice Hema Kohli,
B.V. Nagaratna,
Justice B.V. Nagaratna,
R. Bhanumati,
Justice R. Bhanumati,
Bela Trivedi,
Justice Bela Trivedi,
Indu Malhotra,
Justice Indu Malhotra,
Fatima B.V.
And the first woman judge of the Supreme Court of India is Fatima B.V. All 30, right, 30 points in their kitty, just as Team 1. They've gotten their 30 points. Team 8, your next set coming up. And the last of our listed round questions coming up on the screen. Here it comes. 6 oldest high courts in India. Let's start the timer. Usually we have a, okay, quickly, if you have an answer.
Calcutta.
Calcutta High Court, absolutely.
Bombay.
Bombay High Court.
Madras.
Madras High Court, all 15 in your kitty now. Last 20 seconds or so left. 12 seconds to go. Five seconds to go. Okay, I think they want to stop now. Quickly from, you guys want to give it or go to the audience? Yes.
Allahabad.
Allahabad High Court would have given you another
Odisha.
5.
Orissa.
Not quite at this stage. Not quite. Next.
Patna.
Patna High Court. Yes, it would have.
Karnataka.
Not quite. And this would be Punjab and Haryana High Court, which were amongst here the 6 oldest high courts. Right. With that, can we have a huge round of applause for these teams under pressure, performing well. Right. So, and what is the number of points that you fetched? 15. Perfect. So just for my clarification, and with that, the last 2 rounds of quizzing left to see who will be crowned the champion of our state level law quiz competition. The audience question. I'll quickly read this. We thought it was an interesting fact. This was Senior Advocate Sanjay Hegde writing in the Hindu. He says, and you need to identify who the X and Y are. On April 24th, 1973, 2 events occurred that have united India ever since. X was born in Bombay. And in Delhi, the Supreme Court delivered its verdict in Y by a narrow 7-6 majority. X would take time to make an impact, but Y had an immediate fallout. The next day, on April 25th, 1973, 3 of the 7 judges who delivered the majority judgment, which went against the government's position, were superseded for the position of the Chief Justice of India. What are X and Y? Here, think about it. 1973, X is Sachin Tendulkar and Y is Keshananda Bharati case. And interestingly, that both of it happened on April 24th. And this is an interesting observation that we thought we wanted to kind of bring up. This is Sachin Tendulkar and Keshananda Bharati case. And with that, we will have another audience question. And I will actually come down so that I don't be able to see the teams who are on the buzzer. Right? So, what do you think connects all of these elements? Simplex, if you remember, is a company. There's Ganesh Bikaji Diola Likar, and there is a small kind of, this one about a slogan that we have shown you, and the scales of justice. What do you think connects all of these? Audience? Simplex is actually an infrastructure company. Something iconic in our country is in the shape of the scales of justice. The first architect of it was Ganesh Bikaji Deolalikar. Supreme Court of India was the answer we were looking for, and the Supreme Court of India was the aerial picture of it was supposed to represent the scales of justice. At least that's this one, and it was built by Simplex construction company, right? And the architect was Mr. Ganesh Deolalikar. Right. With that, we've completed our first 2 rounds of quizzing. Now, quickly, if I might request, if you can switch on the buzzers in front of you, and just ensure that all of you have switched on, and we will switch on the master controller, and we will quickly jump into the last 2 rounds of quizzing left today, right? For the benefit of the teams, I'll quickly do a check of the buzzer. Team 1, working. Team 2, Team 3, 1 minute, just wait. Team 3, yes, works. Team 4, Team 5, Team 6, Team 7, and Team 8. Works. Superb. And that's the buzzer working for all the teams. Your questions will come up on the screen. Can I request the, for the lighting to be dimmed, please, so that the light from the buzzers are visible to all of you. Light be dimmed on the stage. And the questions will appear on your screen. And before that, I think we have a quick round of scores before you head on to the buzzer round. Right, so these are the scores. After 3 rounds of quizzing, we have Sambalpur University at 50 points, Berga Law College at 40 points, PG Department of Law, Berhampur University at 40, Lingaraj Law College at 10, PG Department of Law, Utkal University at 10, PG Department of Law, Utkal University, Team 2 on 40, NLU Odisha leading with 120 points, and NLU Odisha Team 2 at 75 points. Anybody's game, because you have 140 points at stake in the last 2 rounds of quizzing. So let's quickly move to, we'll move screens. And just allow us a couple seconds, because as we move the screens, just takes a couple of, I think we are ready with the connect round. So just as how you saw Supreme Court of India, you need to guess the connections that will follow in the next couple of rounds. So 4 questions in this round, plus 10 if you get it right, minus 10 if you get it wrong. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Your first question on the screen coming up now. Connect. And we need the audio output on it. Okay, we have Team 3 which has gone for it. Yes, Team 3, what do you think is the answer?
It's the famous habeas corpus case in Jai Bhim Bhumi.
So what do you think is the connection?
It's a habeas corpus, writs petition.
Connection, we need to connect. What connects all of these elements? I told you, right? You need to look for a connection.
Backward classes.
Okay, something very specific.
Justice for backward classes.
I'm giving you an option to answer. Look at the elements. You are around it, but I need a specific answer. What connects all of these elements specifically? It's a 2-word answer.
It's writ petition.
Not quite, not quite. PG Department of Law, my heart goes out to you. It's a grand finale, and I want you to be a little specific. You gave one element right, and I was hoping that you would come back to that element, right? And in fact, I'll use my discretion on this, right? Because they came close by to the answer that I was looking for. We'll give them 5 points, right? We'll give them 5 points because you did talk about, or you used the answer that I was specifically looking for. And the answer from the audience? Jai Bhim was what we were looking for. The movie was...
Actually, sir, I told Jai Bhim in first habeas corpus case.
You said it, but then you went on writ, right? But I was looking for, the movie was the movie Jai Bhim. We put that. But the connection was Jai Bhim, right? This Jai Bhim was the words used by, at this book, Dalit Movement and its leaders showcases that Mr. Harilal Das used it for the first time. It's the slogan of the BSP and the RPI party, the Republican Party of India. The movie Jai Bhim was based on, of course, the case that Justice Chandru had fought, right? So that was the answer we were looking for. So I'll give you part points, 5 points, because you used the term, right? But you need to be confident. Go out and explain it, right? Don't worry about anything else, right? Don't let the pressure get to you. This is Jai Bhim was the answer we were looking for. Fingers on the buzzers, teams. Next question coming up on the screen now. Connect. I'm looking for a personality. Okay, yes. Team 7, National Law, Odisha.
Maulana Abul Kalam Azad.
Can you explain?
National Education Day is his birthday. And I guess it was I guess he founded the above Al-Hilal.
The newspaper, weekly newspaper in Urdu.
And India Wins Freedom, I guess he was the author.
He was the author of India Wins Freedom, India's first education minister, after whom the National Education Day on 11 November is celebrated. That is Amir Khan's son, who named his great-grand uncle, who was Maulana Kalam Azad, and he named him Azad. So one of Amir Khan's sons named Azad after Maulana Kalam Azad. So this is Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad was what we're looking for. Good 10 points. Can we have a huge round of applause for a well-cracked answer? Right. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Next one coming up on the screen now. Connect. Connect. Okay, yes. PG Department of Law, Utkal University.
They belong to, they are all the judges of International Court of Justice.
All the Indian judges in the International Court of Justice. I will give it to you. So that's the right answer. Justice Chagla was an ad hoc judge. That is Dr. B.N. Rao. We have R.S. Pathak, Mr. Dalveer Bhandari, and Mr. Nagendra Singh, right? So those were our Indian judges in the International Court of Justice. Good 10 points there. Right, and the last of the questions coming up on the screen from the connection round. Fingers on your buzzer now. Can we have the audio? Okay.
A rich forest shrouds the hillsides, where the summer's monsoon rains turn the streams into rivers, and the mountains are revered as gods. These are India's Niyamgiri Hills, home to one of the subcontinent's most remote.
Right. Team 4, you've gone for it.
Sir, Vedanta, Odisha Mining Corporation, Deomali Hills and Tribe, Copper.
What's your final answer?
Sir, Vedanta.
Not quite. Not quite. Lingraj Law. And unfortunately, questions don't come to the teams. It passes to the audience. It was, I think, a landmark judgment of grassroots level activism to save the hills. Niyamgiri case, or the bauxite aluminium, the bauxite case, as we'd call it. So this is actually a picture of a bauxite. This is the, it says Niyamgiri Hills, but yeah, so but I wanted a little more explanation. You said copper, right? But I wanted the explanation around it, right? What was the explanation was that, in fact, the actual answer I was looking for was the landmark case where the Dogria, the tribe, the Dogria tribe were allowed to, they were given the right to choose not to allow the hills to be exploited by the corporates.
As a god, and a multinational mining company with its sights set on the mountain's sacred stone. The stage is set for a bitter struggle against the backdrop of eastern India's dramatic landscapes. As the bulldozers draw closer, what will one tribe do to save their forest, their mountains, and their God.
Right? So this is from the Odisha Mining Corporation versus Ministry of Environment and Forest case, where the Supreme Court said that the Grama Sabhas, the 24 Grama Sabhas, would take a decision on whether to allow the mining of the bauxite, and all the 24 Grama Sabhas rejected it, and therefore the Kondogria tribe people were able to safeguard the Niyamgiri hills, where they believe that their sacred god stays at the top of the mountain, right? And that was the answer we were looking for. You went close, but I wanted you to kind of give me that explanation of an answer. So, and you said copper, right? Again, it was not the context that we were looking here. And I specifically asked for a connection. You said Vedanta. The connection was not Vedanta there, right? So that's the answer we were looking for. And now to the audience questions coming up on the screen. Okay, so here is fill in the blank with a number. Article dash of the Indian Constitution, other provisions as to ministers, section dash Indian Penal Code, enhanced sentences. The dash amendment provides for setting up of the state level rent tribunals to exclude jurisdiction of all courts. I mean, I don't expect you to know these sections by heart, but I expect you to know why I would ask this question today when 75 is the answer, and largely since we are celebrating the 75th anniversary of our High Court of Orissa, so the connection was just to see numbers in it. So well done, good answer there to the audience. And now the last question round of our state level Orissa quiz coming up. Last 10 questions, and it could be anybody's game, right? Fingers on your buzzer. I can just read out the scores for the benefit of everyone. We have Sambalpur University at 50 points, Barga Law College at 40 points, PG Department of Law, Berhampur University at 45, Lingraj Law College, they've gotten some answers and now they are at 0. PG Department of Law, University of Utkal University at 90, PG Department of Law, Utkal University 2 on 50, Team 7 on 130 points, and we have NLU Odisha Team 2 at 75 points. So anybody's game, the last 10 questions will decide who the champions are. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Buzz around. +10 for a correct answer, -10 for an incorrect answer. All questions will appear on the screen. Now, in 1817, one of the earliest protest movements in India against the British Dominion took place. 1 minute. Just hold on, hold on. Hold on, just a second. Just give us a second. There's a circuit breaker buzzer. What does that mean? If any of the buzzers would have switched on, your buzzer will not work. Okay? Right? So, that's how it usually works. Now, we will refresh the buzzers and we'll probably give you another question for this, okay? So I'll quickly use this for audience. Anyone in the audience? Yes. Paika Rebellion is the right answer. This is the Paika Rebellion which happened way back in 1817, right? And we thought it was a good peasant movement for India. Huh? Okay, Team 5, your buzzers are working, right? Don't switch it on, switch it off. It messes with this one. Okay, 1 minute. Press the buzzer. Works? Yeah. So, there is a mechanism in which if you switch on, switch off, usually sometimes it loses connection. Yeah? Okay, thank you. Right? Next question coming up on the screen. Fingers on your buzzers. Now. Earl Rogers, an American trial lawyer and professor, is said to be an inspiration for which fictional character created by Earl Stanley Gardner? Yes. Now your buzzers have gone up, lit up. Answer, please. I need an answer. +10 if you get it right, -10 if you get it wrong.
The lawyer in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Atticus Finch is not the right answer. Oh, right? Anyone in the audience? Earl Stanley Gardner is the famous And sir, Muli sir gets the answer right. This is Perry Mason, the famous law series from literature. This is Perry Mason, and the creator, in fact, the real life inspiration was this lawyer, Earl Rogers, right? So this is Perry Mason, right? Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Really pressure getting to them. Relax, take a breather. Next question. Fingers on the buzzers, teams. Now. The 92-year-old retired justice of the Karnataka High Court was the original petitioner along with 20 other petitioners behind which landmark judgment? I will give it to you good 10 points. Right? So this is the famous right to privacy where it was declared as a fundamental right, as part of the fundamental right. Case Puttaswamy versus Union of India, the Aadhaar case. Good 10 points. Team 4, Lingaraj Law College, getting that right. Fingers on the buzzer. Next question on your screen. It looks like that map will not be able to help you out. 8 countries shaded represent what? Very, very good thinking answer. Very good thinking answer. Good thinking answer, but not quite. Not quite. Right? Not quite. Anyone in the audience? 8 specific positions held by these, or people from these countries have held these 8 specific or 8 positions 8 times in an organization that was set up in the year 1945. Yes? UN Secretary Generals is the right answer. So these are all the countries of the UN Secretary Generals. So you could see Yui Tant, who was from Burma, Kofi Annan from Ghana, the present Antonio Guterres was from Portugal, and that was the answer we were looking for. The present or the nationalities of the UN Secretaries General is the answer. Hard luck. I know probably the 8 went to and you went for G8. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Next question coming up on the screen now. 16 Stormy Days, a book written by Tripurdaman Singh, documents the story of what?
The First Amendment to the Indian Constitution.
The First Amendment caused a lot of tension to Panditji, and that was the right answer. Can we give it up to them? The First Amendment is the subject matter of the 16 Stormy Days. Let's refresh the buzzer. This is Team 7 from NLU Odisha. Let's refresh the buzzers. Right, so this is the First Amendment. Right, so since we are halfway through the quiz, and I said I will replace one question. Here is it. I'm only telling you, asking that question. Which legal term gets its name from Latin for debt's pledge? Debt's pledge. Clue, if you're thinking etymologically, place where dead bodies are kept should give you a little bit of thinking on what legal term are we talking about. Debt's pledge. That should help you work out the answer. Legal term. Debt's pledge. Okay, Lingaraj Law. You went directly on. I said as a clue for you to work out the answer. So something that starts with more. A legal term used in, let's say, when you're practicing in banking law, etc., you might hear it often. Pledge. Mortgage was what I was looking for. Mortgage comes from debt's pledge. Like from Mortin, which is from German for debt. Mortin or mortgage was the answer. So unfortunately, a -10 on that. Right? So this is the First Amendment of the Indian Constitution. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. The next question on your screens. So Jai Rajguru acted as the royal preceptor who administered the king of Koda on behalf of the sovereign Mukunda Deva II, to which Surya Vamsha dynasty, whose name referred to kings with armies of elephants, did he belong to? Armies of elephant. Yes, team 7.
Gajapati.
Gajapati is the right answer. Yes, this is the Gajapati. Gajanana is a reference to Ganesha. So this is Gajapati, or elephants, or the army who held armies of elephants who ruled over Odisha for a long time. So that's the answer we were looking for. Good 10 points to NLU Odisha. Fingers on your buzzers, teams. Next question coming up on the screen. How do you better know this group of 7 members formed in 1927, chaired by the person sitting right at the center? Oh, yes? Okay, need an answer?
Simon Commission.
Caused protests across India. Simon Commission is a fabulous answer. This is the Simon Commission of 1927, right? So very, very good crack there. This is the Simon Commission, and Simon Go Back was a slogan across India where we protested the commission which did not have an Indian member. Fingers on your buzzers. Next question on your screens. Now, what is the most important issue from Mrs. Neelabati Behra versus State of Odisha case? Yes. Team 1 has gone for the buzzer.
Custodial death.
Custodial deaths is the right answer. Custodial deaths is the right answer. I mean, we framed a bigger question showing these are, of course, in custody, there is police custody and judicial custody. This is the data of the states which lead on custodial deaths. The top one is on police custody deaths, and the bottom one is on judicial custody deaths. So that's from Neelabati Behra, one of the landmark judgments from the state of Orissa. Fingers on the buzzers. Next question coming up on the screen. Who is the famous author of these books? A Second Paradise. It goes on to say of courtly life. Right? You say you're saying Mr. Naveen Patnaik was the author of all of these books, and a book, in fact, on the introduction to the healing plants of India. That's the right answer. The present Chief Minister of State of Odisha, this is Mr. Naveen Patnaik, who's the author of all these books. And before the last question of the quiz coming up, and let me just refresh the buzzer, and teams, they have fought the preliminary round, come to the grand finale, and really performing beautifully well. Can we give it up to the top 8 teams from the state of Odisha, law students who battled it out in every zone to be here. And this quiz is truly special because, you know, creating such an engagement to engage with law students is something that can really play a huge role for law students to study the law in variety of means and ways. So a huge thank you to the Honorable High Court of Orissa to taking up this initiative, all the court officials from across the state who helped making this happen. A very hearty thank you. And the last question of the quiz coming up on the screen. Do you want to know the scores? Okay, quickly I'll read it out for the benefit of everyone. Sambalpur University on 50, Barga Law College on 40, PG Department of Law Barampur on 45, Lingraj Law College on 0, PG Department of Law Utkal University on 90, PG Department of Utkal University 2 on 60, NLU Odisha on 150, and NLU Odisha Team 2 on 75 points. Right? Can we have a huge round of applause for them? The last question of the quiz. According to Dr. Ambedkar, what did he say was the soul of this constitution? Okay, we have PG Department of Law, Utkal University, who has gone for it. Can you use the mic?
Article 32.
Article 32, the right to constitutional remedies. People are ultimately, our activism really shows we the people have adopted this constitution, and it is on us to really go and exercise our rights. That's the right answer. This is Article 32, the right to constitutional remedies. And with that, we've come to the end of our the grand finale of our state level law quiz competition. Thank you all for staying back. We will quickly break for tea, and we'll be back in the next 10 minutes where we'll have a prize distribution ceremony, really kind of distributing the prizes for all these wonderful teams which have made it to the grand finale of the quiz. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the quiz. Thank you all.
Namaskar and a very good evening to everyone present. I, Ashish Patnaik, Additional Coordinator, High Court of Orissa Arbitration Center, on behalf of the High Court of Orissa, extend my heartiest greetings to everyone for this wonderful evening. We are honored to have the gracious presence of Dr. Justice S. Murlidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, who first conceived the idea of organizing the state-level law quiz as a part of celebration of 75th year of establishment of the High Court of Orissa. His Lordship's persuasion and guidance has only made it a reality. We are extremely fortunate to have Honorable Justice Arindam Sinha, Judge, High Court of Orissa, Honorable Justice R.K. Patnaik, Judge, High Court of Orissa, and Sri Raghav Chakrabarti, co-founder and CEO of QSala, on the dais. We are also fortunate to have the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Orissa amongst us on this vibrant occasion despite their busy schedule. We also have with us Madam M. Vaishnavi from QSala, the participant of the grand finale of the quiz competition, principal, faculty members and students of various law colleges and universities, the members of the registry, the officers of the Odisha Judicial Academy, Odisha State Legal Services Authority, and members of the print and electronic media. We thank everyone for the benign presence in this gathering. May I now seek the permission of the Honorable Chair to declare the event as open. Thank you, sir. The event is declared open. May I request Honorable Sri Justice Arindam Sinha, Judge, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the welcome address. My Lord, please.
Good evening. The Honorable the Chief Justice, Dr. S. Murlidhar, the Honorable Justice R.K. Patnaik, Mr. Raghav Chakraborty, co-founder and CEO of QShala, along with his team, my companion Honorable Judges, Registrar General, Member Secretary, Odisha State Legal Services Authority, Director, Odisha Judicial Academy, officers of the registry, principals of the law colleges, distinguished guests, college students from all over the state who have participated in the competition, ladies and gentlemen. The state-level quiz competition for law students has been held. Now it is time for the prize giving. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this ceremony. I have been told the competition has been a big success. I came in a little late. Large number of students from different law colleges in all districts of Odisha participated in 4 zonal rounds. All the participants gave their best, and it is only because of participation by many that we have a few winners. Having been called upon to deliver the welcome address, I took this opportunity to learn about quizzes. Chambers Dictionary, 12th edition, gives meaning of a quiz to be prepared set of questions put by interrogation or oral test. The set of questions can be designed also for entertainment or amusement. Taking inspiration from the given meaning, it can be asked whether a quiz is a test or a game or a talent search. A quiz can be used by a teacher as a test for quick and informal assessment of the students. Quizzes are often used to briefly test students' level of comprehension regarding course material, providing teachers with insights into their progress and any existing knowledge gaps. It is a short test of knowledge as opposed to a traditional test or exam. Quizzes, when used as a test, usually do not impact the result of a student in completing the class. Quizzes can also be used as a game, like the one on television called Kaun Banega Crorepati, which we all know about. The questions put with multiple options are prepared questions aimed at providing excitement on the player choosing the correct answer. The quiz master introduces the player or contestant to the options available for choice to answer the question. A mix of knowledge, considered guesswork, and luck makes a good player. Discovery of talent or hidden talent can also be achieved by taking quizzes, having questions prepared for the purpose. Talent is hard to find. It is not found by anyone on waking up one day knowing he or she will be a legal practitioner, an artist, an astronaut, an engineer, a designer, a sports person, a musician, or any one of so many other things. One can look for one's true passion for days, months, or maybe years, but one is not guaranteed to ever find it. College students, you should always be ready to take a quiz. Usually, quizzes are of questions on general knowledge. It is essential to have general knowledge. We live in a modern and complex world. We cannot remain in isolation and not know what is happening around us. We cannot remain in isolation. Being informed will make you aware and enable you to comprehend things better. Good comprehension will help you take better decisions in life. Importance of general knowledge spans beyond being able to shoot off answers or start conversations. It helps you interact effectively with all by enabling you to contribute to conversations on a wide variety of subjects. Having good general knowledge will also train your mind to discern between what is true and what is likely to be false or fake. A quiz competition has taken place. All who have participated have done well to do so. Congratulations to the winners. On behalf of the High Court of Orissa, I welcome the resource team of Q-Shala led by their co-founder and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Raghav Chakravarti. Principals of the law colleges, welcome. The organizers, officers of the district judiciaries, where the zonal rounds took place, staff and all others who contributed in organizing the competition have done an incredible job in making it a success. I welcome you. Also welcome are the students from all over the state who have participated in the competition. I welcome those of the Fourth Estate and ladies and gentlemen present here. Let's vote for general knowledge and participation in many more quizzes, win or lose. Contestants, participants and other students here, enjoy college life. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Lordship, for the words of wisdom and for the warm welcome extended to our honorable guest. May I now request Mr. Raghav Chakravarti, co-founder and CEO of Q-Shala, to kindly address the gathering. Sir.
Respected Justices Dr. Muralidhar, Justice R.K. Patnaik, Justice Arindam Sinha, respected Justices of the High Court of Orissa, court officers, principals, teachers, students, and my dear friends. It's truly an honor to have been part of this experiment, to engage with law students through a unique mechanism of a quiz, Normally, it would not be the first thing that somebody would think of. But I think it's a brave experiment, and to be part of that experiment, I think as a team at Q-Shala, we feel very privileged. We go back, as apologies for my throat, it's really gone, but as Benjamin Franklin said, I think the best kind of investment that we can all do is on pursuit of knowledge. And here I think the initiative of our quiz here, the state level law quiz, was an investment in trying to really kindle that curiosity, build that sense of learning and engaging with different legal aspects from different perspectives. You might have seen questions in the quiz which captured literature, art, culture, music, art, etc. The idea of looking at the law in silos versus looking at it in different perspectives is an important kind of tool set for all of us in an ever-changing world. So I think this experiment was in that regard, and for us from Team Q-Shala, we feel that going through length and breadth of Odisha really got us to understand the state much better. We go home with our cups kept empty, always yearning to know much more about Odisha with this visit that we made here. Students we saw from different parts of Odisha, truly heartwarming. Let me put it this way, there's that enthusiasm to come and participate. There was a story of a young girl who wrote into us saying that she did not have a team, but she wanted to participate in the quiz. She traveled for over 4 hours in the morning. The quizzes used to start by about 9 a.m. She traveled 4 hours, so probably she woke up at, 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., came to the quiz, participated. She missed qualification by a whisker. She was a team which just missed out qualification. But that truly kind of, for us, encapsulates the spirit of what this quiz was. And for all the teams which made it to the finals, made it to the preliminary round, and took that opportunity to, keep your own cups empty and learn and absorb, the team dynamics that goes into each of them. You would have the right answer, the other person would kind of bulldoze you over sometimes, but all of that is part of that learning process. So for the teams which may have not won today, but for sure I feel that experience of being part of that journey is something that would be very memorable and carry for many years. And for the winners, wishing you the very best and congratulations. I urge all of you, go back with these questions, try to inspire your younger students in your college to take part in such quizzes, right? And for those of you who travel long distances to be here, right, it truly warms our heart that you took that opportunity. So with that, I think I will end my small address here, but this would not be possible without the effort of the High Court of Orissa, the district judges, the court officials, and everybody else. So the hospitality that was tendered to our team in each of these locations, the empathy in which many of issues were handled truly heartens us. And I have to say, the way the team, just to give you all perspective, for what you saw today in the stage today, the teams from the court were working late into the night yesterday, planning each element of the plan. So this collaborative space that I see here in High Court of Orissa is truly inspiring us, to say the least. And I wish this continues. And with that, wishing you all the very best, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to be part of it.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience in conducting the zonal rounds and the grand finale of the state level law quiz competition 2023. May I now seek the permission of the Honorable Chair for declaring the winners of the grand finale of the state level law quiz and for going ahead with the presentation of the prizes to the top 3 teams of the competition. Thank you, sir. Now is the time to declare the second runner-up team of the grand finale. The second runner-up team is the team number 8 of National Law University, Odisha. I would request Sri Aniket Rao, Sri Nakul A.R., Sri Kaustav Kulkarni of National Law University, Odisha, and the members of the second runner-up team to kindly come to the dais. And may I request Honorable Sri Justice R.K. Patnaik, Judge, High Court of Orissa, to kindly felicitate them with prizes. Aniket Raut. Nakul A.R. Kaustav Kulkarni. Kaustav Kulkarni. I would once again request His Lordship to kindly felicitate the entire team with the second runner-up trophy. Thank you, Lordship. Now is the time to declare the first runner-up team of the grand finale. The first runner-up team is team number 5 of grand finale belonging to PG Department of Law, Utkal University. I would request Sri Ansuman Sahu, Sri T.S. Swaraj and Sri Prabhat Kumar Ponda of PG Department of Law, Utkal University and members of the first runner-up team to kindly come to the dais. And may I request Honorable Sri Justice Arindam Sinha, Judge, High Court of Orissa, to kindly felicitate them with prizes. Ansuman Sahu. T.S. Swaraj. Prabhat Kumar Ponda. Now, I would once again request His Lordship to kindly felicitate the entire team with the first runner-up trophy. Thank you, Lordship. With much joy and privilege, it is now the time to declare the winning team of the grand finale. The winning team is team number 7, belonging to National Law University, Odisha. I would request Sri Abhishek Ratha, Partha Singh and Biswajit Misra of NLU, Odisha, and the members of the winning team to kindly come to the dais. And it is my privilege to request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the prizes to the members of the winning team. Abhishek Ratha. Parth Singh. Biswajit Misra. Now, I would once again request His Lordship to kindly felicitate the entire winning team with the winner's trophy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. This event could not have been possible but for the cooperation of QSALA. I would request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present a memento to Mr. Raghav Chakrabarti as a token of humble appreciation of the efforts put in by the efficient team of QSALA. Thank you, sir. May I now request any one of the members of the second runner-up team in the grand finale to kindly come to the dais and speak a few words on the occasion.
We are the second runners-up, National Law University, Odisha. First of all, we'd like to thank the High Court for conducting this quiz. I would like to thank all the justices present. I would like to also thank my teammates Nakul and Aniket, without whom this wouldn't be possible. As a person, like people have found me having random packets of knowledge, and they used to always ask me that where would you use it. So now I can say that, hey, I can use it here. So I think this is one thing which I can use, take back. I also thank QSALA for making this quiz very interesting questions. I'd like to be back at this quiz again next year if it is made possible. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. May I now request any one of the members of the first runner-up team in the grand finale to kindly come to the dais and speak a few words on the occasion.
I am Prabhat Kumar Phanda from Utkal University PG Department of Law. I would like to thank honorable judges of the Odisha High Court and QSALA for organizing such an enlightening event of quiz like a state level, which is perhaps is happening for the first time in our state on the occasion of 75th anniversary of Odisha High Court. I would like to congratulate each and every participants for participating in this event, and we will like to have all such events in future also. Thank you.
Thank you. May I now request any one of the members of the winning team in the grand finale to kindly come to the dais and share his experience while participating in the law quiz competition.
Greetings to the judges, dignitaries, and other ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the Honorable High Court of Orissa for organizing this quiz competition, which was a kind of unique experiment, as Raghav sir has already expounded. It was like, it gave us a lot of idea about how to quiz in a very niche area like law. I would thank him and the court for organizing this, and I would also thank my teammates, without which this we couldn't have ever achieved this feat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I humbly request Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the keynote address.
Pranam, a very warm good evening to everyone here, my esteemed colleagues of the High Court, both on and off the dais, Raghav Chakrabarti, the CEO of Q-Shala, all the principals and vice chancellors of the universities, the law colleges, the students who have come here in large numbers, my own registry officials led by the Registrar General and the registrars and the Director of the Judicial Academy, ladies and gentlemen, in this 75th year of the High Court of Orissa, we wanted to have a string of events that acknowledges the contribution of many in society to the building of the institution of the High Court and the district courts, the judiciary in Odisha. While we acknowledge, of course, the contributions of judges and lawyers, and we've even acknowledged the contribution of legal assistants, those who help the lawyers with their work, we felt it was important to acknowledge the contribution of law students. All of us were law students once, and we had our dreams and ambitions, and we've remembered and drawn on the experience as students ourselves in our professional lives as lawyers and later as judges. Which is why I think an event like this kindles that spirit in each of us as judges. Today I could see many of my colleagues in the High Court very excited to be part of this audience, and I must appreciate Q-Shala for having that audience involvement in the quiz. It is so important, that element of participation. Basically everyone in the audience is then clued in on the quiz. And I must say the audience here would not only be the audience before all of us, but there is an online audience as well. And many are watching this. As Justice Sinha was mentioning, this kindles that curiosity in the human mind, wanting to know more, wanting to know about a lot of things, not just about law. And this quiz, I think, brought out all those elements very well. Children are an important component for all of us in society. We want children to take the responsibilities as they grow older and make the future better for all of us. The Odisha High Court has opened its doors to children for quite some time now. Every November 14th, in the last 2 years, we've been conducting painting competitions for children. We've been using the paintings of children for our judicial calendar. Children visit our courts quite regularly, interact with our judges. And I think law students play a very, very major role in how they shape the future of the Odisha bar and thereby the future of the Odisha judiciary. I want to congratulate and thank every one of the institutions that have participated in this law quiz. I'm told by Raghav that nearly 300 law students have participated all over Odisha in the regional rounds and now in the finale. I would also like to thank the principals, the vice chancellors of the law universities and principals of the law colleges that have encouraged students to participate, help them. For all of us in the High Court, including the registry officials, it's been a unique learning experience. My registry officials have always contributed their full 100% and maybe even more than 100%, I would say, to all the events that the High Court organizes. But this particular event warmed their hearts. They were very, very happy to see such young, brilliant minds participate in an event organized by the court. And I think for all of us, it gives us a confidence that the future for the Odisha judiciary is bright, provided we have some of these bright minds join the profession, legal profession, and later the judiciary. This is a very, very happy occasion for the Odisha High Court in its 75th year. I would request that hereafter the High Court should conduct such a state-level law quiz at least once every year, even if it's not the 75th year or some landmark year like that. So that would ensure that law students are closely connected with the institution of the judiciary, get interested in the working of the judiciary. You heard Raghav himself say while he was conducting the quiz that many of you who have not yet visited the Museum of Justice here in Cuttack should visit it. If some of you had visited it, you would find that at least half a dozen questions could have been easily answered because the answers are there in that Museum of Justice. This has been a wonderful experience for all of us as judges here. Thank you to each of the students who have been here. What else can I say, except that we're very fortunate to have Q Shala. Both Raghav and his team member Vaishnavi have worked very hard to assemble the right set of questions. I was very interested in the way they used multimedia, video clips, photographs, and made those connections between various elements to bring out the interesting element of a quiz and to have full participation of all the members. Thank you very much, Q Shala, for this excellent work that you've done. I'm hoping that we can have a similar quiz for our judicial officers. I think I'll discuss with all my colleagues and see how that is possible. So thank you once again, all of you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your insightful thoughts. As we are approaching to the end of today's program, I would now request My Lord Honorable Sri Justice R.K. Patnaik, Judge, High Court of Orissa, to kindly present the vote of thanks.
Honorable Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice of Odisha High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice Arindam Sinha, Judge, Odisha High Court. Esteemed judges of the dais, Mr. Raghav Chakravarti, co-founder and CEO of Q Shala, Ms. M. Vaishnavi from Q Shala, esteemed guests attending the function, members of the Registry of Odisha High Court, officers of the State Judicial Academy and Odisha State Legal Services Authority, dear law students and participants of the state level quiz competition, members of the print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. As once said by His Holiness Dalai Lama, which I quote, the roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation, and unquote. So therefore, I feel extremely honored and privileged for having received this rare opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special event. First of all, I, on behalf of the Events Committee, would like to thank Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar, Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, for his Lordship's kind presence to grace the occasion. In fact, Honorable the Chief Justice is the brainchild of this wonderful event. His Lordship is a master of ideas and inventions of unimaginable magnitude. This event is His Lordship's one of such creations. It was conceived by my Lord and executed with precision. In fact, words are not enough to thank His Lordship, who has always been a source of inspiration to me and all. On this momentous occasion, we convey our deepest regards and hearty thanks to Dr. Justice S. Muralidhar. I also convey my warm regards and thanks to Dr. Justice B.R. Sarangi, Judge Odisha High Court and Chairman of the Events Committee, for His Lordship's constant guidance and supervision, which shaped the event and made it happen with great success. I, on behalf of the Events Committee, express my heartfelt gratitude and sincere regards to Mr. Justice Arindam Sinha, Judge, High Court of Orissa, for His Lordship's kind consent to address the August gathering and be a part of the event. I convey my regards and gratitude to all the members of the Events Committee as well as the esteemed judges of this court for their generous support and valuable suggestions received from them for the event. I sincerely thank and express gratitude to Mr. Raghav Chakravarti, co-founder and CEO of Kyushala, and his colleague, Madam M. Vaishnavi, and the entire team of Kyushala for taking up the responsibility in conducting the state-level quiz competition. The quiz competition has been successfully accomplished by Kyushala and its team across the state, and therefore I, on behalf of the Events Committee, thank all of them from the bottom of my heart. Thanks to the heads and faculty members of the law colleges and universities, some of whom are present over here, for extending their kind cooperation in facilitating the participation of the law students in the quiz competition. Special thanks to all the law students who participated in the state-level quiz competition at zonal rounds and the grand finale. All of them have participated in good spirit and with great amount of enthusiasm. In fact, we had preliminary and final rounds at zonal levels, where students from the law colleges and universities participated, leading to the happening of the grand finale held today. The energy and spirit of all the law students shown during the quiz competition is a matter of appreciation and of immense pleasure, since we all consider them to be the next generation leaders. As we know, an event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance. With the participation of all, the quiz competition has come to an end today. In this regard, a token of appreciation must go to the officials of the registry. For its successful execution, we have been really fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated officers in the registry, which made this event a grand success, of course with the collaboration of Kyushala. I would therefore thank the members of the registry, spearheaded by the Registrar General, Mr. Pratap Chandra Patra, the Registrar Records and Convener of the Events Committee, Mr. Abhilash Ranapati, and especially to Mr. Somak Patra, the Coordinator, High Court Arbitration Center, and Convener of the event, all of whom have worked tirelessly to make this happen with ease. To be honest, all the officers of the registry, ably supported by a team of men, have shown their sincere willingness and commitment to take on the task assigned to them beyond their comfort zones. I convey thanks to the Director and all the officers of the State Judicial Academy and their team for successfully managing the event, including today's grand finale, without any hitch. I also thank the officers of the State Legal Services Authority for extending their services. At the end, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the members of the print and electronic media who are present here to cover the event. Thanks to one and all, and if I missed anyone, I tender my sincere apology for the same. Before winding up, I once again thank all the law students who participated from the ground zero to this level, and congratulations to the winners of the state level law quiz 2023 organized by the High Court, and wish all of them a bright future and very best of luck. Namaskar.
Thank you, Lordship. Now we have come to the end of the program. I seek permission from the Honorable Chair to declare the function closed. Thank you, sir. The function is declared closed. All the participants of the grand finale of the state level law quiz are requested to assemble at the portico of the academy for a group photo session with the Honorable Chief Justice and Honorable Judges of the High Court of Orissa. Thank you.
I would like to take